Hey Dunchbags, what's going on? It's Landon Remixes here, and welcome to my review of the debut album from 20-year-old French producer Madeon. This album is called Adventure, and man, I've got to say it is an adventure, but I'm going to get into a little bit of information about the artist real quick. He gained popularity a few years ago for his remixes of The Island by Pendulum and deadmau5's Raise Your Weapon. Both were phenomenal remixes. Also gained a ton of popularity for his live mashup on the Launchpad called Pop Culture, in which he mixed like, I don't know, 20 or so pop songs together to make this awesome mashup, and it's one of the most famous mashups of all time, and also gained waves in the EDM scene, especially in the electro field, with songs like The City with Zach Waters. And this is his first attempt at making a full record. I'm really proud of him. I think he was kind of following where Porter Robinson was heading, trying to make kind of a euphoric album, and I think that was really awesome. As you can see, I've got my Porter Robinson shirt on today. Anyway, let's dig a little bit deeper into this debut record from Madeon. The album kicks off with these first couple tracks called Isometric and You're On, which features vocalist Kian. The intro's got this really kind of ambient vibes, kind of has a little bit of a Daft Punk sound. I really love the intro and how it goes into You're On. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the intro because that would be completely pointless, but one of the retaining themes on the album is that we are constantly hearing these gorgeous piano outros and ambient sounds overlaid by all this French house and disco style music that I've been wanting to hear some more styles from, because as we all know, Porter, with his album, he didn't go really a new disco route, went more of an indie dance route, mid-tempo music, house music, melodic stuff. But with this record from Madeon, we're hearing tons of awesome disco vibes, and especially on this track, You're On, and we've got this awesome bass line and chopped vocals, which is just what we need from Madeon. I didn't love this song at first, but after I had started hearing it for a while, I definitely got into it, and it's one of my favorite tracks on the record. I'm not gonna lie, this one is so catchy. Although I wasn't really appreciative of Madeon releasing so many singles before the album was out, I really wanted to get hyped, and I feel like what he did with this one was he kind of released all the best tracks before the record even released. I think maybe 4 of them, or maybe 5, including You're On, Pay No Mind, Imperium, and Nonsense. Those ones were all released prior to the album, and which still isn't out by the time I've recorded this. It's coming out tomorrow, but I really love his use of vocal chops and really getting into that disco sound, which is definitely very unique, and I've loved Madeon for doing this kind of music for a little while. We get into the first single that wasn't released prior to the album. It's called OK. With this one I got a little vibes from Savant, and I liked it. It was an okay track. Definitely wasn't one of my top favorites from the album, but I really, like I said, enjoyed the vocal chops and all the different styles and bouncy grooves that this one includes. Now this album's definitely got an all-star lineup, including, on top of Kian, we've got Mark Foster from Foster the People, Dan Smith from Bastille, and Passion Pit. Not to mention on the deluxe version, we've got Walk the Moon, so there's that one. And man, what I'm feeling a lot with this album is that alternative rock style and indie rock music that that's really been blowing up lately in the past few years, especially with bands like Walk the Moon and Bastille, 2 of which are some of my favorite bands that I actually like. So I was definitely excited. Bastille's probably my favorite alternative band, so I was really pumped to hear this track, La Lune, with Dan Smith. And he's also an amazing producer, but I don't think he did any production on this song. I can't say I'm disappointed, but it's not one of my favorite tracks on the album. The vocals from Dan Smith are very nicely highlighted. Really liked his sound on this track, and it was definitely an enjoyable track. Just getting back into some of my favorite singles, the next track's Pay No Mind with Passion Pit. I've never been a huge Passion Pit fan, but this song kicks complete butt with an awesome vocal line and work from Passion Pit. We get more funky, groovy, and moving tracks. This one's got a fantastic bass line, and I definitely love this one, so make sure to check it out if you haven't yet. I'm just going to talk about a few of the tracks that I didn't like that much before I get into the final thoughts on the album. So there's this first one called Beings, and this one even though I wouldn't really say it's an interlude, I wouldn't say that at all, but kind of got some Owl City vibes from this one, honestly. And we've got Imperium, which was the lead single from the album. I never really liked that one that much, so I really don't want to say a bunch of crap on this, because this is a really fantastic record, and definitely the good outweighs the bad on this. I like Imperium, but I'm just not crazy about that one. I didn't really find it that appealing to my ears. So, and we've got Zephyr, which I was kind of really excited to hear, because typically songs with the name like Zephyr would be able to catch my attention, even though that's a terrible reason for wanting to like a song. It's not extremely unique, but it's still very groovy, like Madeon does with the rest of this record. Definitely still enjoyable. Probably my least favorite track on this record is this song called Innocence, and it's really slow and kind of toned down, leading up in, and I guess I could say it's an interlude leading up into definitely one of my favorite tracks on the record, which is called Pixel Empire. And man, this track is gorgeous. It's got a very nice progressive feel, rhythm guitar leading into this massive drop, and it's just so enjoyable. Although most of the songs in this album I can't see myself listening to a lot as singles, I could definitely see myself using this a lot in sets. I could see myself listening to this as a single, even though maybe that's not what it's intended to be, but this is definitely going to be one of the highlights from the album, so yes, Pixel Empire. On top of that, there's another one of my favorite singles, Nonsense, with Mark Foster, and I have liked Foster the People for a while, never ended up buying their last record, or the record before that for that matter, even though they are a very good band. And even though I don't really like Foster's vocals on this one, I mean, I wouldn't say I didn't like them, but definitely not my favorite vocal work from him. But still, the production on this one definitely outweighs it, and definitely a smooth and catchy track. The album closes with this track called Home, which Madeon actually tracked the vocals for, and I'm really impressed because I think he did 3 or 4 vocal tracks on this record, which is awesome to hear producers doing their own vocals. Like last time with Porter Robinson, he did only vocals for 1 or 2 tracks, while Madeon's kind of stretching and doing a little bit more, which I'm definitely impressed with. It's very closing-like, so I'm definitely very happy with this as an outro. Overall, I'd say this album is definitely one of the best albums of the year. I'm not going to give it, like, extremely high, but it's going to be pretty high, so I think I'm going to let you guys take a guess. Ah, heck with it. I'm giving it a solid 9. Like I said, one of the best records of 2015. I might have complained a little bit about it. Honestly, none of the tracks are bad. There's my least favorite, I think, Innocence. And that's basically the only track I really struggled to get through, even though it was very short. But anyway, what do you guys think of the record? I'm giving it a 9, like I said, so it's definitely worth a listen or 2, or 3 or 5, or definitely worth a CD purchase. I should be getting my CD maybe tomorrow when it releases, hopefully. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this little album review, and peace out.